Hi guys, my name is Ryan Sumardi and welcome back to my channel. Hari ini you come back to my beautiful place. Just kidding. No, this is my room. I just came back from Jakarta, as you guys can see from my previous video. So what we are doing now is quarantine. So I make this video during quarantine to make sure that you guys still get some of my thoughts this week. Okay? Jadi, if we think about risk, what comes to mind? When you talk about risk, itu adalah resiko, which means something bad that could happen from any situation. Now, today we will talk about risk in risk management. What is risk management itself? Okay, there are 4 strategies. Kalau lu take a class of risk management, mereka bakal diskusi 4 different type of risk management. Nah, risk management itu bisa dilakukan dari dunia financial bisa, or even in your daily life. So you can apply all of this in your daily life as well. So there are 4 different types of risk management. Yang pertama adalah avoidance, atau you basically don't do anything that will cause you that risk. Yang kedua adalah risk reduction, atau lu mengurangi risk. Ya, basically lu kurangin deh chances of you getting that risk. Yang ketiga adalah risk transfer. You transfer the risk for somebody else to cover it. Nah, yang keempat adalah risk retention, which means you pay for the risk because you want to do it and there's no way to avoid it. Okay, now we will discuss one by one. Yang pertama adalah risk avoidance. What is risk avoidance? Means that lu avoid aktivitas yang akan memberikan sebuah resiko yang lu nggak bisa tanggung. In general, risk avoidance is done for things that is too big for you to control. Kadang-kadang lu pernah dengar gak sih orang bilang, if you never get into it, if you never do it, you never know. Well, if I already know that I cannot do it, kenapa gua harus kerjain? For example, lu punya penyakit jantung nih, terus temen lu pada challenge lu, naik roller coaster dong. You know that if you go on that roller coaster ride, you might die. Basically ya, lu pintar dikit lah, lu mikir kayak, gua nggak bisa ngelakuin ini nih, karena risk-nya terlalu gede buat gua. Why am I doing that? Right? For example nih, orang pernah ngajak lu invest, lu punya uang dikit, lu bilang gua mau tabung di deposito, karena gua butuh uang ini untuk kedepannya gua perlu pakai. Tapi temen lu suruh masukin ke investment, which you don't really know how to invest, and you are not ready to take the risk. Lu avoid it, you don't even go to it because lu nggak bisa control that risk, right? Lu avoid it at all costs. Terus kalau misalnya lu ikut teman lu, dia bilang lu bakal dapat gain 100% dalam 3 minggu. Gila nggak? Lu berani jamin seperti itu? Kalau tiba-tiba orang bilang begitu, lu masukin, terus uang lu habis. Whose fault is that? Well, possibly is your fault because you are greedy enough to go and take it, right? Tapi avoid that. Continue on. Yang kedua adalah risk reduction. Risk reduction adalah you know the risk, but you know how to reduce it. All automakers does know how to reduce things. For example ya, di awal-awalnya ketika orang membuat mobil, when they make cars, dari awal-awalnya nggak ada yang namanya airbag. Nggak ada yang namanya airbag. But nowadays, all cars have airbags. Why? Because they would like to reduce the risk of injuries if anything happen with the car crash, right? Jadi kayak basically itu risk reduction itu semua automakers ngerti. Karena apa? Dulu itu mobil jalannya lambat banget. Lu nabrak deng gitu ya, wes. Sekarang mobil nabrak at high speed, terbalik-balik, if you don't have airbag, muka lu benyok dah, kira-kira gitu. Orang bisa tercampak. Seat belts juga termasuk salah satu invention yang dibutuhkan sama orang. Nah, terus juga ada yang for example, kalau gue kemarin ke Bandung ya, ada emergency brakes areas itu, kayak, you never think about it, right? Until kalau lu pernah lihat mobil remblong, nabrak orang dan sebagainya, di jalan tol ke Bandung itu, karena terlalu banyak gunung dan lembah, they have this emergency ramp untuk orang yang misalnya remblong bisa rem ke sana supaya nggak nabrakin orang gitu. That happens. So people try to reduce risk. For us, what can we do to reduce risk? Kalau kita dalam kehidupan sehari-hari, for example, lu tahu you want to reduce the chances of lu nyenggolin orang bawa mobil. Satu, lu bisa avoid by doing what? Lu bisa reduce by doing what? Driving in the big road. Lu jangan nyetir ke ganggang lah. Yang pertama. Yang kedua, nyetirnya pelan dikit lah bro, jangan gas-gas terus ya kan. I mean that's how to reduce the risk, right? So it's like something that you can do, sesuatu yang bisa lu kerjakan untuk mengurangi risknya, mengurangi kesempatan untuk terjadi sesuatu kepada diri kamu. That happens when you are in control. Yang ketiga, we move on to what we call a risk transfer. Risk transfer itu adalah basically, if anything happens, somebody else will take care of it for me. Jadi kayak gue transfer resiko ini kepada orang lain. Contohnya nih, well, kalau simplest term or the most easiest term for us to remember is insurance. Kenapa gue bilang insurance? Karena, well, for a small amount of fees that you pay, if anything happens, somebody pay for it. Contohnya, lu bawa mobil lu pasti ada insurance-nya. Especially kalau lu nyicil. If anything happens to you, accident, whatever, you cannot fix the car and they don't have their money. Because lu belum selesai nyicil, terus udah tabrak, mobilnya udah hancur gitu kan. Terus kayak, so what? Well, they have insurance. If you hit somebody, lu nabrak, lu crash, insurance pay for it. Jadi lu ya aman-aman aja gitu. Rumah kita juga punya insurance for the house, if anything happens, kebakaran, if it's happen. If it doesn't happen, it's fine. Kenapa? If something that can happen, but we pay a small amount of fees so that somebody else cover it for us. Gitu, accident. Siapa sih mau kepleset dari tangga? Siapa sih mau dibegal? Siapa sih mau, well, whatever, right? Siapa sih yang mau sakit, gitu gak? I mean, gue juga gak mau sakit, but it can happen. It's not like, it's not now, but maybe in the future, or maybe and whenever, eventually, right? Gue gak bisa mastiin diri gue 100% sehat all the time. Jadi, well, I transfer my risk so that somebody else will cover my hospital cost if anything happens to me. Jadi, basically kayak, ya, risk transfer itu paling simple, paling gampang di-understand-nya itu ya pakai insurance gitu loh. Nah, itu adalah risk management. And when you think about it, it's almost the same with businesses ya. Contohnya businesses, dia nggak mau ngambil risk semua. Dia kadang-kadang itu ya, for example, automakers kayak Toyota. Nggak semua parts-nya itu dia yang buat. For example, airbag kita pernah dengar yang paling ngaco dulu pernah airbag Takata. Itu airbag Takata itu sampai kayak big case lah di Amerika karena airbagnya selalu sembarangan meledak lah dan sebagainya. And it's like it affect a lot of Toyota cars, Honda cars, Japanese made cars. Tapi yang ultimately the problem is from the airbag company. Jadi kayak itu transfernya ke mereka. It's not with the brand name itself anymore. It's no longer with the car. It's with the airbag company. Itu kayak risknya ditransfer ke mereka gitulah. Something like that. Okay. Lastly, we will talk about risk retention. Risk retention itu as in gua bakal bayar untuk resiko yang gua tahu gua bisa tanggung. Contohnya, kacamata gua, sepatu gua, terus HP gua dan sebagainya. Something that cost me nominalnya kecil dan chances of it happening small. Contohnya ya, sepatu gua rusak. Sering gak sih emang 1 minggu sekali sepatu gua rusak? Ya nggak juga. Paling nggak 1 tahun sekali gua ganti sepatu. Tapi harganya berapa? Paling nggak 700.000, 500.000. I still can handle it. Ya, well, ngapain gue bayar asuransi untuk sepatu gue yang, well, basically masih bisa bayar. It's no point, right? Jadi makanya risk itu risk retention. Kayak sesuatu yang masih gue bisa kontrol dan nominalnya kecil. Contohnya HP gue. HP gue ya termasuk, it's like in the limit lah ya. HP, for example, HP lu berapa? 9 juta. Maximum 15 juta misalnya. And then jatuh pecah. Well, after 3 years, ya oke lah. Bisa ganti lagi gitu. You still can pay for something else. Kayak lu bisa beli HP 4 juta, bisa replace-nya lumayan gampang lah. It's not too big or too expensive for you to handle gitu loh. Jadi itu kayak yang menurut gua, risk retention, lu bisa control like that. Nah, jadi gua kayak gampangnya sih cuma begini deh. Kayak, there are 4 different kind of risk. Risk avoidance. Remember risk avoidance itu ya, kalau to avoid risk, it's the risk that is too big for you to bear and there's no way for you to just like transfer it to somebody, or there's no way for you to reduce the risk. There's only one risk and it's too much for you to bear. Avoid it. Avoid it at all costs. Yang kedua, risk reduction. Reduction of risk is for any risk that you can predict. Risk yang lu bisa prediksi and you will like, oh, I can control this. Gue bisa reduce their punya risk dan sebagainya. Reduce it if you can control it. Yang ketiga, for risk that you cannot control, transfer it. If somebody can take it for you, why not gitu kan? Kayak you pay small amount of fees, let somebody take the risk for you. For example ya, kalau ini kayak istilahnya kayak risk transfer tuh kayak tameng, tau gak sih? Lu tembak peluru sama orang, lu pakai armor, tembak dor gitu gak kenapa-napa. Kayak ada seseorang yang menahan dulu baru kena lu gitu loh. Lastly adalah risk retention. If the risk is small and the cost is small, take it. You can control it yourself. It's better karena it's more cost efficient juga lah. Lebih gak usah bayar for anything, because if it breaks then you buy a new one. Easy, right? I hope this video has helped you guys to think about risk management and how you control your risks in your daily lives. If you think that this video is helpful for you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment down below, and then hey, I'll see you guys again next week. All right, goodbye.